I pull up, like, how you pull up, baby? How you pull up? How you pull up? I pull up. Step in the kitchen. Let's go. Brand new Lamborghini, a cop car. With a pistol on my hip like I'm a cop. Have you ever met a real nigga rock star? This ain't no guitar, this a clock.
And what is up, guys? Michael Buckcuster here with my man Mike LeBlanc, just for Click, live raw and uncut sports talk, coming at you on the noon edition at rtsportsnetwork.com. First things first, Mike, how's your day going so far?
I had a really good day. First, before we get into it, I just want to ask the people. I got one question for the people. Did you miss us?
Yeah, of course they missed us, man. We took a little bit of break. I took a vacation. I went down to old Gatlinburg there. If you haven't been to Gatlinburg, it's actually really, really freaking amazing, Mike. Have you ever been there?
I haven't. That's one of the places on my bucket list. So I'm like a huge history nerd.
Right.
So like that's one of the places like I when I start traveling in my old age, I'm gonna start. That's one of the places I have to go.
Yeah, we stayed in a cabin for about 5 or 6 days there, and it cost us about $1,400. So it's definitely well worth the trip and whatnot. But we go there at least once or 2 times a year. So it's a very, very exciting time here, and so we are going to be like this for a couple days, and I'm going on a vacation again. So I'll be on location, but we'll still be doing a live show here for the rest of the week. So shouldn't be too worried about that. But first things first, Mike, we have to ask the people what is on their mind in the comments. So if you guys are curious of what is on Mike's mind, listen to this right here. I fucked that up real bad.
And now, Mike's thoughts.
So I'm sure everybody knows what's going on in our country right now with the tragic murder of George Floyd. And I'm not going to argue or debate that with anyone. It was clearly murder. And I understand the protests. Totally get it. And you are rightfully so to be out protesting. But when you start looting and you start rioting and you start burning down people's businesses, that's enough. That's where you have to draw the line. You cannot be doing that. It's even worse that some of these are destroying Black-owned businesses. You are protesting and looting and rioting in the name of police killing young Black men. But here you are terrorizing and burning down and destroying some Black-owned businesses. It makes your point invalid. If you're listening, it needs to stop. Let's stop. No more hate. Let's all love each other. That's what's on my mind.
And Mike, I couldn't agree much more with you on that. I'm all for a peaceful protest, and I saw them on the way home from my vacation. But the looting and burning down Targets and Black-owned businesses and killing people, like here in Louisville, the first night of the protest, or let's call it looting, like let's break it down to it, they drove 45 minutes out of their way to go rob a Foot Locker to steal the brand new Jordans that just got arrived to the store. So clearly they were not, looking to, peacefully protest at 2:00 in the morning. But I digress on that. Let's just go ahead and call a spade at some point here.
Yeah, no, I'm mad. I'm super angry. One of my favorite shoe stores, I collect shoes. One of my favorite shoe stores that I go to on 6th Street in Austin was looted. And it's a Black-owned business. And I don't know if the guy is going to recover, which makes me angry. Number one, this guy put his whole life savings into a shop. Number two, Where the hell am I going to go get my Yeezys at now?
Well, and number 3 here, we have the COVID happening, so that's already hurting businesses as is. And
Oh,
then
I
we're
thought
breaking
COVID
into
was.
aluminums, limiting them, and what?
I thought COVID was done. Nobody's talking about it anymore. You notice
It's
that? Just like that, COVID was done.
breaking news Friday afternoon, record-breaking amount of COVID cases, and the world shuts back down again. But let's go ahead and get the show started, man. And it is that time of day, guys. We're going to go bring you with the what the. And the first what the of the day is me. I'm going to start it. Rookie wide receiver, I should say, for the Las Vegas Raiders, Ruggs III, cut his leg open while moving something into a trailer or out of a trailer. It is a little, it's a little condescending of like what exactly happened. But man, you're a millionaire. Pay somebody to move stuff for you. Get the crap out of here, man.
His career could have been ended. They said it was like inches from his artery, and it's like, oh, what are you doing?
Yeah, what the Ruggs? Come on, man. Hire a moving company.
All right, man. My first what the goes out to my co-host, Michael Buckheiser. Bro, what the hell are you thinking starting Patrick Mahomes or Lamar Jackson over Russell Wilson? What the hell, man? Russell Wilson is arguably the most underrated best quarterback in the league. I would definitely start him over Mahomes and Lamar Jackson based off experience alone. What the, Mike?
My next what the is the Major League Baseball season. Guys, are we ever going to have a freaking Major League Baseball season? What is going on here is 2 weeks ago, Mike, they came out and told us July 4th is a target project date of the Major League Baseball season. Spring training was supposed to start this week or next week, but they still haven't come to an agreement yet. And because the Major League Baseball players want better health care. Guys, you guys already have the best health care in all of freaking America. You want better health care? What the F ever. And then you want your full pay. Hey, I've been laid off for 3 or 4 months, but when I come back, I want all my back pay. Come on, get out of here with that crap. It's baseball season going to be just a wash this season, 100%.
Yeah, no.
Go ahead, Mike.
All right, man. My last what the is the NBA. They have officially announced that their season will resume July 31st. And they're going to do it March Madness style to determine a champion. Adam Silver, what the hell is going on, man? Why you should just wash this season. I get it. It's about money, but come on, man. Now, whoever is champion, and hate me if you want, whoever is champion should have an asterisk by their name.
Axe. And the final what the of the day, J.R. Smith, what the hell are you doing, my man? He was traveling through Los Angeles during a protest when a civilian come up and busted the window out of his truck. J.R. Smith, and I quote, this is directly from him, I chased him down and whooped his ass. J.R. Smith, I know you are a hood and you're a hood rat. You cannot take out of the hood of the person or whatever you want to say. This man makes millions and millions of dollars, or used to make millions and millions of dollars. Pay somebody to go whoop that kid's ass. Just go pay somebody. Get out of here with that crap. Sheesh. J.R. Smith, you is this guy just the absolutely stupidest bozo you've ever met in your life?
I don't know, man. I mean, if I'm driving down the street, you start vandalizing my car, I'm gonna chase you down and whoop your ass too.
Okay, but you are a podcast host. Freaking J.R. Smith is a stoner basketball player that shoots at the wrong basket. Like, come on now, Jesus. But guys, that is it for today. We're going to take our first break. We'll be right back. And Mike, guess what? It's debate time right after the break.
I cannot wait.
We're going to open up the phone lines, guys. The phone lines are going to be posted on the show here. It's 502-804-1268. If you're interested in jumping in a phone call here, join the debate. Who would you rather start, Lamar Jackson or Patty Mahomes? Right after the break.
Or Russell Wilson.
And welcome back to Just for Clicks, guys. That was a quick break, and I need to figure out these little toggles. I forget which ones I put which, and I didn't want to play the same song over. Sheesh, Mike. Get with it, why don't you? But it's debate time, Mikey Poo. On the poo over there, because you're sitting on poo coming out of the mouth over there.
Hold on. Can we address Mike Reeves' comment right there? The NBA hasn't announced anything of a format for return yet. And they have.
I have seen this in multiple places. Granted, it hasn't been on ESPN or anything else, but the sources that I've heard this from are usually pretty credible. It was actually on NBA Rumors Twitter page, if you guys ever follow them. So, Mike, do you want to tell people where you saw that at?
I don't remember. I remember reading it today.
TMZ Sports.
No. One TMZ Sports. I will look for it and I will send that to you, Mr. Reeves.
Okay, so it is time, Mike. We are going to have a nice friendly debate here, guys. If you're following us on the Facebook page, I posted up some stats here. It was Patrick Mahomes versus Lamar Jackson. Winning percentage, completion percentage, passing yards, rushing yards, and playoff wins. Lamar Jackson has a worse passing percentage here. Patrick Mahomes has a less winning percentage. Obviously, Lamar Jackson has more rushing yards. Patrick Mahomes has more playoff wins. So, Mike, I'm going to ask you a question. If you had a choice right now to draft Patrick Mahomes or Lamar Jackson, and you know the outcome of how they're going to come out throughout the year, who would you draft?
Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson. And we got our first phone call here. Let's go ahead and take this phone call and see what's going on. Hey, how's it going over there on Just for Clicks here? Can you hear us, my man? Are you there? Did we get a prank call? Bye. So, jeez, man. Look at that guy pranking us like crazy, man. So Mike said he would start Russell Wilson, huh? Mike, are you there?
Hold on one second.
This is live, raw, and uncut sports talk. Wow, Mike LeBlanc tries to prank call us again here. I see him.
No, I promise it wasn't me. I promise. It's my buddy. It was my buddy Josh.
Well, tell him to call back in. We the phone lines are up and running here. So we
So
are
if-
going to draft a quarterback here. Patrick Mahomes or Lamar Jackson. Do not say Russell Wilson again, because that is complete blasphemy. If you draft him number one, you are stupid. And
No, I'm not. No,
Okay.
no, sir. No. But if I had to pick between Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes, that's rough, man, because Patrick Mahomes has had a good couple seasons and Lamar Jackson only had one. But Lamar Jackson, if I'm going off of looking like even in college, Lamar Jackson balled out. I'm going to go with Lamar Jackson, man. Because now I got a dual threat quarterback. I got a quarterback who can put up 1,000 yards and
Michael Vick's S, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I can see what you're saying, but you're wrong. Because you need a complete quarterback. Okay, so if you draft Lamar Jackson, this is the first overall pick. You are drafting Lamar Jackson. From your words, you want that quarterback to go in there day one and lead me to the Super Bowl. Lamar Jackson can't do that. You saw his first year. Yes, he was drafted, number 32, I think it was. The Ravens jumped back up into the first round to draft him, if I'm not mistaken. But he still sat the first, 8 games of the season. So he was not ready to be an NFL quarterback whatsoever. You are drafting him first overall. Patrick Mahomes is going to be ready.
I mean, who's to say Lamar Jackson wasn't ready?
The Baltimore Ravens and 31 other NFL teams.
Well, I mean, he sure proved them wrong this season, didn't he? Slapped them all in the face.
Oh, did he win the Super Bowl?
Oh, come on,
Did he win a
man.
playoff game?
You can't put a win and loss
Did
all
he
on.
lose to the team that won the Super Bowl in the playoffs? No.
He lost,
Okay.
but I thought football was a team sport, not a
So,
not an eye sport.
there is a me in it, and and they definitely need Lamar Jackson to win a game. So if you want to have great regular season success and be mediocre in the playoffs, go for Lamar Jackson all you want. If you want to win Super Bowls, you want to win games, get Patrick Mahomes, 100%. So, Patrick Mahomes he makes nothing or something out of nothing. Brett Favre-esque,
So does Lamar Jackson. How many times did Lamar Jackson make something out of nothing and then nobody was open and then he takes it 20, 30 yards to the house?
He will do that the first 8 weeks of the season. Awesome. Give me the last 8 weeks of the season.
Come on, man.
Mike, you are telling me something that teams will learn how to scheme for him. Do you want to know how you beat Lamar Jackson? Watch the playoff game versus the Tennessee Titans. Keep the Baltimore Ravens offense off the field, run the ball down their throats, and freaking make Lamar Jackson throw a 12-yard pass.
Then
7-yard pass is great.
You keep the offense.
Great. 7 yards, awesome.
You keep them off the field, then you're talking about defense. You're talking about the Ravens' defense at that point.
Okay.
Because the defense should have made them go 3 and out, but they could not stop Derrick Henry in the run.
Yeah, the Kansas City Chiefs defense should have stopped Derrick Henry and for three and out too. But Patrick Mahomes still won that game, right? Because he is a baller. He is better than Lamar Jackson, hands down. You're getting worked up over there because you're wrong. I mean, you can have Mike. You can even have Russell Wilson. I'll still take Patrick Mahomes over Russell.
No.
Tell me why.
Russell Wilson has a better football IQ.
He can't even ride a roller coaster.
He sees the field better, and he's got a better arm than Patrick Mahomes.
Whoa. Better arm than Patrick Mahomes?
Sir. Yes, sir.
Maybe from second base.
Oh, here we go with the baseball.
A guy think Patrick Mahomes is a better baseball player than Russell Wilson is too. Wasn't Patty Mahomes' dad a professional shortstop? Baseball is in his blood.
Russell Wilson, he got drafted, I think, by the Texas Rangers, I want to say. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that.
Yeah, he did play some minor league games with Texas Rangers.
So I'm looking at Russell Wilson versus Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
He has a better completion rating. He has more yards. Patrick Mahomes has 8.3 yards per attempt. Wilson has 8.08 yards. Touchdowns. Patrick Mahomes had 26. Guess how many Russell Wilson had?
I don't have those stats in front of me.
31.
31. Let's get the caller to jump in here. Welcome to Just for Clicks, caller. Mike's friend.
It's Mike Reeves.
How's it going?
You know it.
Who would you take, Lamar Jackson or Patty Mahomes? First things first.
Well, Pat Mahomes.
Okay.
100%.
There you go.
Why?
He's got a Super Bowl ring. He's the best quarterback in the league.
No.
Probably the best quarterback ever. Until Joe Burrow in a couple years, right, LeBlanc?
Oh, jeez.
Did you just say Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback ever?
He did.
I said he might be. All said and done, absolutely.
No way.
Although he did say Joe Burrow was going to take that throne from him in a couple years.
I do think Joe Burrow will take that throne from him in a few years.
Mike, what do you got to add to the conversation here? Mike Reeves.
Well, number one, the Board of Governors is voting for the NBA on Thursday, according to the 4-letter network. So I don't know what rumor mill sites you guys are reading, but what the?
Well, we moved past that, so let's talk a little.
Hold on. The NBA is reportedly targeting July 31st for the return to play, according to Shams, I don't know, whatever his name is, of The Atlantic. NBA Commissioner Mike Silver And the league office informed the Board of Governors that July 31st is the target for the return of the season.
Right.
And
So, yeah.
No, it's just that's the plan. You just said it was already in action.
It is in action because they're voting on it. If it wasn't in action, they wouldn't be voting on it.
Yeah, they're just voting to return.
Yeah, they're voting to return on
Correct.
July 31st, which they will, because the NBA is all about bringing their brand back before anybody else does.
Yeah, they're definitely going to want to bring it back before the NFL, because we already know the NFL is coming back. They've already come out and said that they are going to have fans in the stands unless otherwise told by medical personnel. So the NBA is definitely coming
the
back.
Best commissioner in the league.
Well, he's the only
best commissioner in any of the sports leagues. If he pulls a March Madness out of his hat, it's going to ruin you might as well just take a long vacation. You cannot do a March Madness. It'll be asterisks all day. It'll be a laughing stock of the NBA. They need to have a playoff format, or it's not even worth playing.
Agreed.
So let me just ask you, like I'm for a all March Madness type of thing, 1 versus 16 type of thing. But would you do like a 3-game series just to cut down the games like a little bit?
Well, who do you think?
If you do a March,
how do you even determine who goes to the playoffs?
Caller on the phone. Go ahead.
We've been watching The Last Dance for the past month, and all anybody talks about is Jordan LeBron. If LeBron wins a March Madness format championship, it's not going to help his case. It needs to be a playoff formatted system, because people don't care about teams. People care about legends. LeBron's a legend. Jordan's a legend. Kobe was a legend. Everybody else is an afterthought. So if you win a March Madness style deal, it's an asterisk next to a title. You'll never be able to compare them for years down the road for shows like yours and mine. It's worthless. It's garbage. So why do it?
Well, I think it would be it would elevate his legacy that much more, because he did won a 1-game shootout, because we see it happen in March Madness all the time. We see a team that could lose to a team 9 times out of 10, but that one time they beat that team. So you have to show up and play an excellent basketball game for if it's 16 games, where we have like 5 games in a row or 4 games in a row, you have to show up 4 games in a row. Like that would definitely add to his legacy, I think.
I see what you're saying. I think it might.
I agree. He's probably the best, clutch performer.
Yeah, I agree, Mike. I think it would add to his legacy if Bron came in there and won, because you're right. Every game is win or go home.
Yeah. I mean, it would basically be 4 Game 7s in a row, without the grind and Draymond Green getting suspended type thing. So I mean, it'll be Game 7, right? So anything else?
Definitely a talker.
Yeah, Mike Reeves. Anything else to add before we let you go?
Oh, I'm very excited to hang up and watch the Green Bay Greg.
Yeah, Green Bay Greg is
part of the show.
Thanks for calling, Mike. Feel free to call anytime, man. Yeah, Green Bay Greg is coming up next, guys. If you guys have been watching the show rundown, our debate kind of got off topic here, but we got to jump into a quick break, to pay the bills and all that good stuff. So, Mike, I want to get into this more with you at some point, because I feel like we're going to have a Patty Mahomes versus Lamar Jackson debate for years to come.
For sure, 100%.
When I say years to come, I mean 2 years, because that's when Lamar Jackson is allowed. It's after the second year.
I think it's going to be one of those debates when Peyton Manning and Tom Brady went up against each other. I think it's going to be one of those debates for years to come.
I was going to ask you this. Do you think let me ask you this. Do you think Harbaugh, the coach for the Ravens, is a good coach?
I do.
Do you think Lamar Jackson could be better if he was in a system like Kansas City with a mastermind of like Andy Reid?
I do, because of Andy Reid's style, right? Look what he did with Donovan McNabb, right? Donovan McNabb was a dual threat quarterback. Patrick Mahomes is somewhat of a dual threat quarterback. If he had Lamar Jackson, I think Lamar Jackson would be a hell of a lot better than what he is.
Would he have back-to-back MVPs already?
Hard to say because with new talent coming into the league all the
Right.
time.
Right.
But I mean, it's definitely in the realm of possibility for sure.
Yeah. Sometimes I wonder if my visions of Lamar Jackson would be skewed if he was on a different team. Because first of all, I don't like Harbaugh as a coach. I think he is a mediocre coach. Like he's kind of just like stumbled his way into where he is at, and like I really haven't seen him build a team from the ground up like Andy Reid has done with the Kansas City Chiefs or with the Eagles. So I'm just kind of curious like about that. But we are going to take a quick break here. We're going to bring our man Green Bay Greg on from the Green Bay Greg Show and Twist to talk some Green Bay Packers over-unders, win-losses, all that good stuff. Join us right after the break, guys. We'll be right back. Awkward. And welcome back to Just for Clicks, guys. We're going to bring on a bit the legend, Green Bay Greg. Green Bay Greg, what is going on today, my man?
Not much. How you get? Well, first of all, I was watching the first half of your show, and for you to think that Russell Wilson, now keep in mind, I'm a Badger guy too. For you to say that Russell Wilson is better than Patty Mahomes tells me that to get on this show has got softer drug testing policies than the NBA.
Hey, man, I think Russell Wilson is a better quarterback. I do. I mean, he's got more experience than Patty Mahomes.
I love the guy. I love the guy being a Badger fan, but for the love of God, he's been a thorn in my side as a Packer fan.
Oh, that's why you don't like him, because he's a okay. Now, see, the truth comes out there, Greg. The truth comes out.
So when I say thorn in my side, I mean pain in my ass.
So, Green Bay Greg, let's go ahead and talk to you about some draft picks before we get too carried away into these game picks here. The Green Bay Packers drafted Jordan Love in the first round to pretty much replace Aaron Rodgers. Kind of a Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers type thing with Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love. I think. What are your thoughts on the Jordan Love draft pick?
Well, I talked about this on our show on Twist, and the thing is, and I was kind of mentioning this to Mike earlier, is the Packers actually did this before as well. Don Majkowski was a Pro Bowler quarterback, took the Packers to the playoffs in the late 80s, and they actually gave up a first-round draft pick to take Brett Favre from the Falcons, who they drafted in the second round the year before. So this has kind of been the Packers' MO for the past 30 years. Now, did they do it too soon is, I guess, the obvious question. And it's one of those things where I guess you take the Bill Belichick model. You'd rather go a year too early than a year too late. Will there be a guy available next year that would fit that Jordan Love mold? Who knows? Honestly, I didn't like it. I really didn't. But now that I have nothing to do but deal with it, I got to find the best in it. So, you know what? I think that what's going to happen is I think the Packers are going to have Aaron Rodgers for 2 more years. And then once the second year is over, neither one is really all that financially obligated to the other. So they'll trade him for like a 3rd-round pick to Tampa Bay because TB will retire. And then he'll just take over all that young talent that TB's been playing with, and then Jordan Love will jump in.
Yeah. So I like Jordan Love and Easton from this quarterback class. Like I think Jordan Love has really good upside. I'm just not for sure how he fits in the Packers mold moving forward. So I'll be curious to see in a couple years if this is true here. But one thing from last year, the Packers did go 13-3, and they made it to the NFC Championship, getting beat by the Super Bowl losers in the San Francisco 49ers. Really, I thought all they needed was a couple wide receivers, and they didn't draft one wide receiver in the draft. What are your thoughts on that?
That one actually surprised me. I honestly thought as Friday and Saturday the draft went, that's when they would try to find that value at wide receiver. And it really did shock me. Now, what I do realize is they do have a tight end that was hurt of last year that they drafted the year before. And they do have a lot of now second and third year wide receivers that were hurt. St. Brown, you got Geronimo, not Geronimo Ellison, you got Lazard. You got a lot of these guys that were either hurt or kind of just coming into their own. So it's kind of one of those things where if you look at it from the standpoint of, like you said, they were 13-3 last year. I have yet to ever hear of a team win the Super Bowl where at the podium they said, who we owe a lot of credit to? All these rookies. What it is it's a lot of guys that are in their second and third year that are coming in their own. So maybe the Packers know something we don't. A lot of these guys are going to come back healthy, and they'll be able to play at a starting number 2 and I have to assume that Devin Funchess is going to be their number 2. If he is, then you're looking for that slot receiver and you're looking for number 3 as well. So you're looking for 2 more. You got Lazard. You got a lot of these guys that were hurt. So, maybe they didn't need it as much as we all thought they did. The route with the wide receiver route. I would have liked to have seen them do it, but they, like I said, they didn't. So I got to go with what they got. But no, I was actually very surprised.
Yeah,
I have to agree with Mike Reeves in the comments.
Oh God, what did he say now?
He says
Green Bay has a bunch of bums at wide receiver.
Dude, I gotta know. I forgot about Funchess. Just on there. He quietly had a pretty good season last year. You still have Devontae Adams. They're clear number 1. I think, and Lazard as well. And they're all under 26 years of age, if I'm not mistaken. So
I have a question for you, Greg.
Yeah,
I've got a question for you. Do you think at some point this season Green Bay gets Dez Bryant or Antonio Brown?
It's kind of funny. I think about that every year when that wide receiver, that prima donna wide receiver comes out. I don't think they're going to, and the reason is because the Packers, whether it was Favre or now Rodgers, those players themselves become victims of their own success. They see them turn wide receivers that no one's ever heard of into Pro Bowlers. So what does the coaching staff do? The general manager do? They think they can do that with anybody. So why spend a whole lot of money on a Dez Bryant or a Antonio Brown or any of these high-paying guys? Because you have a quarterback that can turn chicken shit into chicken salad.
I hear what you're saying, but I think especially with Dez Bryant, I think you get him cheap, really cheap.
Couple million.
Like $1 million, $2 million for a 1-year prove it deal. Antonio Brown, maybe a little more, $4 to $6 million a year prove it deal. I mean, I think, with Green Bay not going out drafting those receivers and not really giving Aaron Rodgers those weapons on the outside, I think they should. I think they should go out to get Dez Bryant or Antonio Bryant or Antonio Brown or both.
Have you ever been to Green Bay, Wisconsin? Do you imagine Antonio Brown in Green Bay, Wisconsin?
Honestly, that might be one of his best fits because I said last year,
yeah, there's nothing there.
He would fit great in Detroit because there was no spotlight on them to do well or for him to do well. So somebody or a place like Wisconsin, he can get away from people that he knows, go hang out with you. You can keep his nose clean and you can hire him a hooker and stay away from the massage therapist, right?
Oh, that's asking a lot of me. To be honest with you, though, they tried to do that. Oh, Favre tried to do that to get Moss in. So I would like to see it. The last time the Packers brought in a free agent wide receiver, they won the Super Bowl with Andre Rison. And that was back in the Favre days. So, I would love to see it because it would add a lot of drama. And I think Rodgers would love to see it because if he only does have 2 or 3 years left in Green Bay, he wants to go out with a bang and get that Super Bowl. He wants to get 2 because Favre only got 1.
Right. And Jameson, I see your comment in there. I can tell you that Jordy doesn't want to come back.
Yeah, that relationship was severed when
Yeah.
Jordy left. Jordy and Green Bay left on bad terms.
Yeah, and I'm actually going back home this week, and I can talk to him if you like.
I actually liked him a lot. He was actually in the list of the top wide receivers of the decade.
Which he should have been.
Yeah, I mean, because of his consistency throughout the entire decade. So he was he was another guy though, like I'm talking about. No one heard of him out of college. You put him in with Rodgers, and all of a sudden he's that top 10 receiver for a decade.
And Mike Reeves says he would rather watch Golden Girls than Jordy come back. Hey, Golden Girls, it's a great show. Me and my wife actually watched it the whole way to Gatlinburg and back. So I'm just saying. So, Mike, before we jump into the games again here, let's go back into the draft here. Who do you think your draft, or who was the best pick from this year's draft for the Packers?
I mean, it's got to be Jordy. It's got to not Jordy. It's got to be Love. I think. I mean, you get a talent like that in the first round. I don't agree with it. I think you should have went out and got a wide receiver in that first round to help out Aaron Rodgers on the outside. I mean, literally last season, that is what kept them from making a deep playoff run was wide receivers. So, yeah, I mean, I like the pick. I just don't like how they did it, I guess you could say.
Greg, who do you think the best pick was?
I got to go with Jordan Love too, mainly because of value. The Packers are a team that is going to take value, and that's been obvious. But I think that when you are 13-3 and you make it to the NFC Championship game, the list of players that you're going to plug into starting spots isn't all that long of a list. So why not get the best available quarterback that you can use, in the third year down the road, and then in later rounds you're picking up inside linebackers and safeties and offensive guards that can plug and play. So when it comes to value, I think you got to go with Jordan Love.
Yeah, I mean, I like how Green Bay does it, right? They got Favre, right? They had an amazing quarterback, arguably, top 10 quarterbacks of all time. And then they went out and they got Aaron Rodgers, right? And they let Aaron Rodgers sit behind Brett Favre. And I mean, it seems like they're continuing with the recipe with Jordan Love, but I don't know. I think you still could have gotten not a better quarterback, but a quarterback of same kind of talent next year, and went out and got receivers to go win a championship this season.
All right, guys, so let's go ahead and jump on into the board here. The main focus of today's show, picking the win-loss for the 2020 Green Bay Packers. So first things first is they do open up the season, or they open up the season on the road, take on the Minnesota Vikings. Mike LeBlanc, who do you got?
I've got the Packers in this game, man.
That's a dub.
Yeah, I got the Packers too. I think the Vikings are going to have way too many new players, and especially with a condensed preseason, I think that the Packers are going to win this one.
And I think the Vikings are going to win this gun because of what you just said. This is a condensed season, and so Kirk Cousins doesn't have time to say, "Oh, I get to play the Packers first week. Oh, my butthole's going to pucker up." Vikings win at home opening day. There's no chance about that. Next week they're at home, take on the Detroit Lions. Who do you got?
I have, I have the Packs. I've got the Packers, man. We talked about the Lions and how they don't have a whole lot of weapons around them, and I think the Lions are fixing to be in rebuild mode.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be the Packers easily in this one.
You guys are both wrong. The Lions are going to win the freaking division this year. Do you understand that? The Lions are going to win the division. How do they win the division? They beat teams in their division. They beat the Green Bay Packers on their home field opening week. Man, 0-2 is rough in Green Bay, isn't it? Oh,
Greg,
seriously, you guys really got to work on your drug testing policy on this show.
I know, Greg. Do you see what kind of shenanigans I have to deal with?
Moving on to the next week, they're back, or they travel to New Orleans to take on the Saints.
I've got Green Bay's first loss here. I think the Saints. I think this is where the wide receiver position comes into play. They're not going to have the help. Aaron Rodgers isn't going to have the help on the outside against that Saints defense, and this is This is where they're going to be. Green Bay fans are going to be like, why the hell didn't we not draft a wide receiver? And I think also this is going to be where a lot of fans start calling for Antonio Brown or Des Bryant.
Yeah, this is going to be one of those games where the Packers just aren't going to score enough points. They're going to lose probably by 7-10 points. If you're betting, bet the over. Take New Orleans and bet the over.
I will be at this game. I'm really freaking excited going there for my anniversary. Actually, I'm going to take the Saints in this one, simply because Saints in the Metrodome or whatever the hell they're going to call it nowadays. Primetime game, 8:20 Sunday night football. Drew Brees is going to go off. And it just like what Greg said there, they just can't score enough points. It's going to be a high-scoring game, 56-49 type of score. Like a guy wouldn't be surprised if both teams scored 30 points before halftime. Moving on to the next one, they have a Monday night game at home, another primetime game versus the Falcons. What?
I've got the Pack in this game. I've said it on all of our shows when we talk about the Atlanta Falcons. These guys are in complete rebuild mode. They just have Matty Ice and they have Julio Jones. Everybody else is bums. Like, they're in total rebuild mode.
Yeah, I think this is going to be one of those games where Atlanta won't be able to outscore Green Bay. It'll be the opposite of the week before. I think that Green Bay is going to, because they don't have a lot in defense. The Falcons don't. So I think this is going to be a win for Green Bay by, one of those 42-28 type games. Oh, Jesus. God, what?
So,
yeah, okay. Mike Reeves thinks the Packers will lose on their bye week.
So, just what like Mike over there said, that they'll be after this, like after those first 2 weeks and like week 3, they'll be calling for Antonio Brown or Des Bryant to like come. If Green Bay Packers start 0-4 losing to like Atlanta Falcons at home on Monday night, they'll be calling for Jordan Love because they're going into the bye week. What better time to start a young quarterback 0-4 start after a bye week? But that's not going to happen. Packers are not.
They're not going
to at home.
There's $36 million of reasons why they won't do that.
True.
That's
true. But they do beat Atlanta at home on Monday night, giving them a 1-3 start. Mike and Greg both have them at 3-1 at going into the bye week. Next week they travel to Tampa Bay to take on the Bucks. Who do you got?
I think I picked the Bucks in this game when we broke down the Bucks, and I still think the Bucks are going to win this game. It's another game that the Buccaneers cornerbacks are pretty decent, and I think again the wide receiver position is really going to come back and bite Green Bay in the ass this season.
If this was the 15th game of the season and not the 5th, I would probably go the other way, but I think Green Bay will win this game.
Yeah, I agree with Greg on this 100%. The Bucks week 6, they just aren't going to be molded quite yet. The timing is just going to be a little bit off still, and I think that's the reason why the Saints ultimately win their division, because they play the Bucks early in the season twice. But give me the Packers in this game. They're going to travel to Florida to beat Tampa Bay. It's going to be 28-21 score. It's going to be a last-second drive by Aaron Rodgers to end the game. Back on the road, Week 7, take on the Houston Texans. LeBlanc, who do you got?
I got the Packers. Same thing I'm saying about Green Bay at the wide receiver position. You get rid of DeAndre Hopkins, arguably one of, or if not the best receiver in the league, and you send him packing to Arizona. Now Deshaun Watson has nobody really to throw to besides Aaron Fuller. And what's the other guy's name from Green Bay and Dallas? What's his name?
Randall Cobb.
Yeah, there you go. And he's got Randall Cobb. I mean,
Kenny Stills.
Kenny Stills is no. All three of those wide receivers put together is still not DeAndre Hopkins. So give me the Packers.
I'm actually taking Houston in this one. I think the Packers lose one game every year they're not supposed to. Last year it was the Chargers. This will be one of those games where they're just they overlook it. And I think that this game just doesn't feel right to me. And I'm a huge JJ Watt fan.
Yeah, coming from Wisconsin, you have to be a JJ Watt fan, right?
Yeah.
But I'm going to go with Greg on this one here. I think Texans beat them because of look who they have next week. They're already looking forward to that next division game versus the Vikings. They already lost to them once. Now they have them at home, so hopefully they can rebound. So I had them going 2-4 going into the Vikings game November 1st. Mike, who you got?
I've got the Vikings winning this game. They split the series.
The L.
What the hell was that?
Packers took the L.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I got the Vikings in this game. I when you played that little sound clip, I thought somebody was like talking in the background. I was like, who the hell is that?
I have the Vikings too. For some reason this year, I have the Packers beating the Vikings in Minnesota, and I have the Packers. I'm losing to them in Green Bay, so I have just the opposite of home field advantage. I think that the Vikings will win this one in Green Bay.
Yeah, you guys are right on the money here of them splitting. So I do have the Packers winning at home versus the Vikings. Kirk Cousins just sucks. Like, let's be totally honest. I hate Kirk Cousins. He sucks.
Yes.
So moving on to the next one, a rematch of the NFC Championship game, San Francisco 49ers Thursday night game. Mike, who do you got?
You know, I've got the Packers winning this game, even though the 49ers have that stout defense. I think this is a trap game for the 49ers, honestly. I think they're going in here and they're like I know they're going to be looking out for Aaron Rodgers, right? Because let's be honest, you give Aaron Rodgers 40 seconds on the clock with the game on the line, 9 times out of 10, Aaron Rodgers is pulling that out. And I think that's exactly what's going to happen in this game. It's going to be like a last-ditch effort, and Aaron Rodgers throws one of those famous Hail Marys in the back of the end zone, wins the game.
I'm going to take the Packers in this one too, just because I think that everything that LaFleur did in the offseason is revolving around this game. And I don't know the method to the madness, but I think that everything that they do, they just want to beat them. They were the thorn in their side last year. For some reason, I think they're going to pull this one out.
Well, for some reason, you guys are wrong like always, because this is a Thursday night game. The Packers are traveling. You guys know what that means. They're going to not have a game plan in for offense. The defense is going to get ran all over. It's going to be an ugly 12-6 game. It's going to be probably the worst game to watch all season, because the Jimmy G sucks as a quarterback. He can't throw the ball to save his life unless he's with the Cowboys, and I love him. But that is besides the point. It just Kyle Shanahan is going to get bored running the ball again. Going to throw a couple interceptions, but luckily that defense is playing stout. It is a short week for the Packers, so give me the 49ers in this one. Moving on to the next week, they're back at home, take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Mike, who do you got?
You know, this is so we talk about trap games a lot during the season, and I think this is a trap game for Green Bay. I do still think Green Bay wins this game, but this is going to be one of those games where Jacksonville can possibly sneak up and bite them in the ass and beat them.
Not coming off of a mini bye week though. You know, they're going to have extra days with the Thursday night game the week before. I think that this is going to be, an easy game for the Packers. Well, as far as NFL easy games are concerned, but I think that this is going to be a comfortable win for them.
Yeah, Jacksonville is complete rebuild mode, especially since they traded off Nick Foles and starting Garner Minshew. What is that all about? Garner Minshew is a flash in the pan. Ryan Fitzpatrick Esch. You'll see him floating around the league, here or there, like after the season. But give me the Packers 100% in this game. Moving on to the next week, they travel to Indy. I'll be at this game too, taking on the Colts.
So this is the game in the Packers schedule that I have circled that I cannot wait to watch. It's going to be Phillip Rivers going up against Aaron Rodgers. And I think this game is going to be a shootout, right? Because by this time in the season, most teams have it figured out and they're normally clicking and firing on all cylinders. The good teams. So this is going to be a fun game to watch, and I think the Packers pull it off and beat the Colts.
I actually think the Colts are going to win this game. I think that for the same reasons you said. I think that the Colts did a lot more in the offseason to address their immediate needs, and Phillip Rivers, I think, is just got just enough left in the tank for one good run, and I think that the Packers are going to be one of those victims.
Yeah, and I agree with Greg on this this one, I do have the Colts winning this game because of everything that you said. And like you can have a 40-year-old quarterback in a new place. It rejuvenates your body somehow, some way. Yes, there's a learning curve. You can teach old dog new tricks. Philip Rivers is going to have an MVP caliber season in Indy. Moving on to the next week, the last weekend of November, they're at home, take on the Bears on Sunday Night Football. Mike, who do you got?
So we got the dumpster fire Bears. Man, I'm gonna go with the Packers on this game.
As you should.
I'm torn because it's the division game. And no matter if you're a dumpster fire or you're one of the best in your division, when you play a division rival, it's always a hard game. They know exactly how to play you. But I think it's going to be a close game, and I've got Green Bay.
I love how you use the term rival because the Packers and Bears have a rivalry in the same way a hammer and nail do. The Packers will win this easily.
Yeah, you are 100% correct. Primetime game at Lambeau. Those fans are going to be lit. That place is going to be rocking. Give me the Packers 100% of the time on a primetime game. No questions asked. Moving on to the next week, Philadelphia at home. Mike.
I've got the Packers. I think Carson Wentz is hurt by this time in the season, and the Eagles don't have an answer. So yeah, give me the Packers in this game.
I was thinking the same thing. This is the point in the season where Philadelphia is looking for guys off the trash heap. I'm gonna take Green Bay in this one just because half the starting players for Philly in this game aren't currently on their roster. They'll have to pick up guys because of injury.
Yeah, you guys are right. Not because of the injury aspect. I never wish injury on like anybody, but you are right. They're probably not going to be healthy. Carson Wentz is going to have like a sprained big toe or something to that effect. Aaron Rodgers goes off on like on this game. It is time for them to get hot. They've been kind of fumbling around that 500 mediocre point. Like, do we need to start tanking or do we need to start playing? They start playing. They beat the Eagles soundly. Moving on to the next week, they travel to Detroit to take on the Lions. Mike, who do you got?
I've got Detroit in this game at home. Detroit is hard to play at home. But yeah, I think they split the series with the Lions and they win this game. But this is a game that Green Bay, they're going into this game as a must win so they can win the division.
I have the Packers in this one. I don't think they lose a game this year to Detroit or Chicago. I think that they're just them and Minnesota are just levels above the other two.
Yeah, and Greg, you are wrong as normal as you've been on the show all night. But the Packers do go into Detroit and beat the Lions because the Lions are kind of in a must-win situation like at this point. But they control their own destiny, win or lose like at this point. But the Packers do win. Matt Stafford kind of fumbles away they win in the end. Moving on to the next week, they're at home, take on the Carolina Panthers. This is a flex game, so it could be a prime time, could be 1 o'clock. Mike, who do you got?
I've got the Green Bay Packers, and they're going to shut Christian McCaffrey down this game. And they're going to stack the box and then just hurt him. Give me the Packers.
Yeah, I don't think that Christian and Teddy are enough for the Packers. I think I'm going to take the Packers in this one too.
Yeah, I'm taking the Packers too. I don't. Teddy Bridgewater, when he was in Minnesota, I just don't think he didn't play versus Green Bay very, very, very well, and I think that carries over to Carolina because he doesn't have any receivers anyways. So moving on to the next week, last weekend of December, they're taking on the Titans at home. Primetime game, Sunday Night Football. Mike, who do you got?
Sunday Night Football. That is Aaron Rodgers' always time to shine. Give me Aaron Rodgers in any Sunday Night Football game.
Yeah, I'll take Green Bay in this one too. I think that the Titans by this point, you shut down the run, and you got a fighting chance. Tannehill's not going to beat you in the air, so I'm going to take Green Bay.
Yeah, as you guys heard me earlier, I said give me the Packers prime time every time, except for this time. Give me the Titans in this one because just something about the Titans late season push last year makes me think they're going to have a late season push this year as well. And how do you beat a high-powered offense like the Green Bay Packers offense will be? Keep him off the field. Run the ball with Derrick Henry. That's exactly what they're going to do. Keep Aaron Rodgers cold on the sideline in this cold Lambeau or Green Bay, Wisconsin weather as well. Moving on to the final game of the year, they travel to Soldier Field to take on the Bears. Who do you got?
I've got the Packers in this game also.
Yeah. By far. Yeah, this will be a comfortable win going into the playoffs.
Yeah, I have the Bears winning as well. Packers winning as well, I should say. The Bears are we don't even know who their quarterback is going to be. For all we know, it could be Aaron Rodgers by the end of the season. But that does put me at 9-7 on the season. Mike, that puts you at 12-4. Greg, you have them at 11-5. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay, and so both of you guys have them winning that division, correct?
Yep.
Okay, so what are they going to do if they? What game do you have circled that they have to win the division?
I've got the December 13th game against the Lions. They've got to win that game.
I think they have to go 5-1 in the division. So if they win, and I think they'll go 4-0 against the Lions and the Bears. So if they win week 1 against the Vikings, then I think that they can afford to lose the game on November 1st, or vice versa. If they lose week 1, then they cannot lose that other game to the Vikings if they want to win the division.
Yeah, I have every division circled because I think the Lions are going to sweep the Bears and sweep the Vikings as well and sleep with the Packers. So
He left the show.
Like if they stumble in any division game, I think that kind of slides them out of the first place there. So, Greg, if you don't think they win, you think they're going to win the division, but if they don't win the division, do they still get a wild card? You think and they can make some noise?
With 3 wild card spots, I think that they could, because right now you got a lot of teams out west that have to play each other. I mean, everyone thinks that Arizona's a sleeper, but they still have to play the 49ers in Seattle and LA twice. Will Tampa Bay get it together in enough time? So you got to find 3 playoff teams. I don't see another team coming out of the East other than whoever decides that they want to win the division. So I think the Vikings and the Packers both make the playoffs.
Yeah, I do. I agree with that. I don't even think the Arizona Cardinals are a sleeper team. I think they're another year at least. They're another year at least from going to the playoffs. So I don't think Arizona Cardinals are a sleeper at all.
When I say they are a sleeper team, they are like a 7-9 win team. I mean, like any team that wins 3 or 4 games of previous year and they double that amount, I think that's a sleeper. Do you guys see any sleepers in this division, in the black and blue division?
No, I think it's pretty clear and cut. I mean, it's going to be either going to be the Packers or it's going to be the Vikings. The Lions, they're not there yet. They Matthew Stafford still needs some weapons around him. The Bears are a dumpster fire. So, yeah.
You know what, Buck, I respect you and I listen to your show all the time, and you keep talking up the Lions, so it's gotten me thinking a lot, and I just don't see it. You're seeing something I don't, because like Mike, I think that the Lions just don't have enough talent around Matthew Stafford, and if you keep every season seems to end the same for the Lions. A lot of hope at the beginning, and then Stafford either gets hurt or they just don't have enough weapons around him. If they could put some weapons around him, I'd give them a little more credit, but I see them as being a 4-12 team.
I mean, like,
I do.
This isn't a Detroit Lions show, but by any means, but let me address that answer for you. They drafted a tight end last year in like Hawkinson. He got hurt versus the Kansas City Chiefs. He was absolutely destroying the Kansas City Chiefs before he decided to do a bonehead move and jump over a guy and got power bombed and hurt his neck or got a concussion. Stafford is quietly a top 5 quarterback in the league, hands down. They added some weapons to that, or they added some depth and some talent to that defensive side of the ball, much needed, and they added running game support. So their wide receivers are still kind of like, who is that? But Matthew Stafford, with that running game and that talented tight end and like Hawkinson, he can make some no name receivers some name receivers with the solid defense behind him. And
I like your optimism.
I lost so much money doing weekly fantasy by taking Hawkinson because he was always such a good deal on FanDuel, and he never did anything for me. So I get what you're saying because I followed him a lot, but he does have a lot of promise.
Yeah, it just his problem was he was injured a lot, like last year. He had like a nagging back or ankle or something like that. But that is besides the point. The point is also that this division is also down a little bit as well. I'm not sold on the Vikings at all. I think they are a solid 8-8 team. The Bears are a 2-14 team at best. And then the
Vikings are better than 8-8. I know Kirk Cousins doesn't show up in the spotlight, but I think he's going to surprise a lot of people this season.
Well, only time will tell because the NFL season does start, September 11th with the Houston Texans taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. Greg, as always, thank you for joining us. Where can people check out your shows at?
Well, we got on RTF. We're on at 1:00 in the afternoon on RTF is Twist. And then on Thursdays, starting at noon, we got Mike on the mic, followed by Benzi's Bit, followed by my show, Green Bay Greg, on all the RTF networks. Also, Twist, theweekendsportstalk.com, and on all the YouTube channels. All those are on YouTube as well. So check us out.
Thanks for coming, Greg.
Hey, thanks a lot, guys. I really appreciate it. All right, cool. Thanks a lot.
All right, guys, that is going to be it for tonight's show. Mike, any closing thoughts before we head out?
You need to put the crack pipe down, stay off of the Lions, and then Russell Wilson is a better quarterback than Patty Mahomes and Lamar Jackson.
All right, guys, that is going to be it for tonight. We didn't get into the 2-minute warning, so let's do some music as we head out.
Hold on. Wait. One more thing before we head out. Hey, guys, we already know what's going on in our country right now. Stop spreading hate and spread the love. Love each other. I'm out.
ELE, everybody love everybody. Semi-pro action. Don't be stupid. Just for clicks, guys. Noon edition, rtfsportsnetwork.com. Join us tomorrow, same time, same place. We out.